Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing.
Yo ma, and welcome to a very, very, very special edition of the PAC Show. That's right, the Doggies won the premiership. Fucking yes! That's the sort of heat we're going to be bringing this evening. But yeah, welcome to the PAC Show. Proudly brought to you by PAC Athletic Club and DoubleTake Sports, the show that brings you all the highlights, the lowlights, the reviews, the previews, the news, and the interviews from rugby here in Australia and around the world. I am fizzing at the bunghole. I am so super pumped, and keeping in theme with our Mad Monday theme for this evening, we have Sione and Ryan Freeney from the PAC Athletic Club. That's right, we got the dynamic duo. We are dressing up. The West theme today for their Mad Monday was dynamic duos, so I think you guys have hit the nail on the head, Dos. But sorry, Sione, how you doing, man?
Freeney and Sione qualify as a dynamic duo, right? Surely.
Oh, like in regards to they are just shockers. Yeah, like.
All right, so we nailed it.
A form of, yeah, like there is a form of dynamism to them, but it's not like what you would typically think. But there's something. But yeah. Who else is absolutely pumped at the moment? I am fizzing at the bunghole, as I touched on before. Man.
I wasn't, and then I am now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've brought me up.
Feel the vibe, Dos. Yeah. Dal, you were there, man. How good was it?
It was incredible. It actually made me, which doesn't happen very often, but made me want to play rugby again. Like watching the likes of Connor Anderson and Harry Higgins and these guys who've just been toiling away, and to win that and the emotion that they had, it was just sensational. It was an incredible day.
We got. Speaking of Harry Higgins, we've got Harry Higgins. He's going to be dialing into us very, very shortly. He messaged at 6 o'clock. I was like, make sure you're good to go by 6. He's like, I'm good to go, man. And he's just messaged and said he's coming back from the shop, so it'll be 5 or 10 minutes. But we're going to get him on the blower. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he's talking about, but he did say he is going to still be going. So he'll be coming to us live from the West Mad Monday. But we'll actually just get straight into the action from yesterday's football. 44 points placed, 27. The Doggies over UQ. We actually said last week, we were like, the only way that West are going to win is if they score first and get a double digits lead at halftime. Complete opposite. It went completely out the window. 2 minutes in, UQ score. The Doggies are down by a try or so at the half, and then their second half was just sublime. But UQ, Dow, started brilliantly.
Yeah, I don't think they could have asked for a better start. They were well and truly on top of them. They defended the house down, when West were throwing absolutely everything at them, and it was just exactly what we've seen from them all year. They were sensational. Key moments in that first half were all UQ.
But look at him, man. Cam Flavel was right into it all day, mate. He was awesome for the students, mate.
He was unbelievable, yeah.
But, I mean, this is what we sort of saw all day, was just niggle, and it was just back and forth. And both sides played a good brand of footy. UQ, the first half, they were great. But look at that crowd, eh?
He's quite good too, this lot.
Angelo Smith.
Awesome.
He's been the breakout player. He's almost been the best player in the comp.
Mate, he's Jim Tucker in his write-up actually said there's no, he should be on the radar for going up into a Super Rugby system somewhere.
100%.
After a game like that, but also a season like this, and I think in the broadcast, Marty actually made mention of the fact that last year, Sam Wallace won the Tony Shaw medal and pretty much got that Rebels contract as a result, and you can't help but say, Angelo Smith is probably the one from the grand final winning team this year that should probably get that Guernsey.
100%. Him or a Connor Anderson. I think Connor Anderson was sensational again. You throw in the mix, Seru, and the way he played was just outstanding.
Seru is a freak, mate. But this game, last year, you've got to admit that final wasn't much chop. I think Jeeps played their final the week before against the Doggies. But this game was awesome. This game was absolutely unreal.
It had everything, and also I just think the way West just was so dynamic up front. They went right from the get-go. Their big boys were just bulldozing through, and it got to about the 60th minute, and then UQ just had nothing left to go with them.
This here was... It wasn't actually this, but just prior to this, Carter Gordon put a great shot 5 metres out from the UQ line alongside Vili Raboiliku, I think, on Lucas Ripley. And I remember watching this first half, I was geeking the fuck out. I was just telling the boys before we went live, after the game finished, I had to go for a walk because I think I just stressed myself so much I felt sick. But then that shot from Carter Gordon, like, it sort of just changed the dynamic of the game. They started going hammer and tong at each other, and it just showed that we're in this, and the doggies just took their chances, but they just bullied them, Doss. They just, as Dal alluded to, this last 20 minutes, they just bullied them.
I mean, and you look 27 all with 18 minutes. Oh, man. Sarah, fuck, he was outstanding.
How good was he,
But
mate?
18 minutes to go, 27 all, you'd think, oh, shit, Uni's going to hold on here, and they're going to be Uni and hold on and get a result. But West did exactly what we said that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And, and were by far the better team in the last 18 minutes.
And then this right here,
The icing on the cake.
that's what it was, mate. And look at what it means to Connor Anderson there. Hands straight up. And look at the crowd, man. Oh,
Was it loud? Was it loud there,
It
Dal?
was loud, but they were loud. Like, West were bringing so much energy from the crowd. It was incredible. And you could see the boys, like, they were just pumped. They were getting the crowd involved. And Walisi was sensational. He came on and almost changed the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah.
Scrummaged the house down. Didn't miss a dart. He was absolutely everywhere.
No, as you said, he did change the dynamic because I think Hino, in all his wisdom, actually played a brilliant play by... They knew we're going to keep Boos and we're going to be starting Boos and Usher. And so they went, well, we're going to throw our Resi's guys on there and you guys can get tired. I think he played his hand a little bit too soon. I think he should have kept Brad Kuhn and Alex Davies on longer.
I agree.
They were holding him up. Davies is a gun.
Yeah.
I personally think he's probably a better scrummager than Dane Zander and was doing a great job. It was 50-50. I think they needed the arm wrestle to continue going.
Yeah.
I think he played. But that just goes to show how good Hino is. Like, he identified this is our weak spot, and he's running a forward pack with a contracted prop in the second row, who I want to give a shout-out to, mate. Isaac Ido Kailea. He has been unreal for the students this year, especially in the back end, going forward, back, forward, back. He's been awesome.
Mate, he's been sensational. And the way he's carried the ball and the influence he's had on their attack has been sensational. You know what I mean? It just showed me how much how difficult scrummaging is on these guys.
Yeah.
Like, when he doesn't actually have to pack down, he has that freedom and ability now to get around the park, and he got around the park like an absolute monster.
That's so true.
But he's so for those that don't know, he's actually a Melbourne player born and bred, contracted to the Rebels, and came up here obviously to ply his trade. Being a front rower, you need them in the best setup possible, so he decided to come up here. And I remember I commentated his debut game, and since then, you see him and all this sort of stuff, and I've always said, good footy player, but scrummaging definitely not up to snuff. But he's played Super Rugby as a prop. I don't know whether or not, like, he's shown that he is a phenomenal athlete and an unbelievable footy player. What do you reckon, Dal? Do you think they persist with him as a prop, or do you think maybe try to convert him to a back? I don't know, a back rower, or
I don't know if he can. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he can play back row. I think he's got to be in that tight stuff. So can he be a tight headlock? Is he tall enough for that? Or do you just need to give him time to develop that scrummaging? Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is, because he's got everything else, and that's probably the only thing at the moment that's letting him down. So
How old is he?
not old.
early 20s,
21, 22.
something like that.
You've
Yeah.
got to give him some time, man. Got to give him, especially in the front row. Like, we've seen young guys,
Most props don't develop to their late 20s.
man, mid to late 20s. Exactly right. So I mean, high expectation because they're so talented. But yeah, man, give him some time. He'll develop into it, and he's got good size. I mean, all the good tight heads globally. When you look at the really good ones, they're always tall, big frame, like taller than your
but
normal
like
props.
sort of a straight build.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to get alluded to on the show last week on the broadcast. I think Swaney asked a few questions of Hino. I think 12 years in charge out there at UQ, maybe 13, whatever it may be. There's a lot of chat, a lot of rumours. He is going to be signing with you'd assume the Reds. I mean, whether or not that is true, whether or not it's locked in, whether or not he does, that is his last game for UQ. His legacy at UQ in particular, Premier Rugby as a whole, it's untouchable.
Oh man, it's unrivaled. I don't think we'll see a record quite like that. Well, in our lifetime, mate, 14 years. He's made the last 10 grand finals.
11.
The last
No,
11.
10 out of 12.
10 out of 12. Since 2010 was his first one against the Stingrays, and then from there,
and it's not like he's had, the majority of the Super Rugby players in his team, or he's built this culture, he's built these habits, and whatever he's doing down at UQ, and he's built the recipe for success at this Premier level, and it's proven. And I hope that the rumors are true, and he gets his shot at the next level, because mate, he's done everything he could possibly do to deserve it.
Yeah, mate, he's an absolute freak,
and he's a great guy.
Absolutely,
one of the best blokes,
bloke.
One of the best blokes ever. But the thing is, back in the 90s, what was it? South won 8 in a row, 8 out of 9, something like that. But that was back before the professional era, or Super Rugby came halfway through. So this is when you had your centres with Tim Horn and Jason Little. You had Dan Crowley in the front row.
Yeah.
You had all
Brendan
these.
Cannon. You had everyone. You had Super Rugby guys or guys playing for Queensland in reserve grade.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a bit of a different story. So since the professional era, you've got a guy who's taken an amateur football side to this many premierships. It's just it's almost unheard of, man.
It is, and in a time where you get a lot of coaches who overcomplicate it and overstructure things, he's had the same game plan for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Skills, be impeccable. So good hands between forwards and backs. Make sure they've got those appropriate skills, and it's speed of breakdown,
and a quick breakdown,
quick ball, and then play footy.
Yeah.
And that's where I reckon West yesterday did a terrific job at going and bullying them up front. UQ almost wanted to go toe-to-toe with them. And because of that, I think they went away from their game plan a little bit, made a few uncharacteristic mistakes. And that's why that's why West were the ones who came through.
Yeah, 100%. Well, sort of in relation to that, we're still waiting on Higgins to dial in. But you touched on it. Connor Anderson has been phenomenal all year. We gave our thoughts on the Alec Evans medal. Connor Anderson ran away with it. 22 points. Up next was Connor Pritchard with 17, Kai Oates and Taylor Adams both on 14, and Tom Milosevic on 12. So, I think Connor Anderson, he's been unbelievable for West all year, but he's been the one doing the hard shit yards. And I guess it's we were talking about it last week. You don't really see forwards that do the shit work getting the accolades, and it's good to see, well, not just Connor Anderson, but Connor Pritchard's right up there with him. You've got a guy who has been a mainstay in the best side all year getting the Alec Evans medal, and you'd have to say definitely deserved it.
Yeah, and I think it showed yesterday. You talk about doing the little things, but he's a really smart footballer.
Yeah.
Like on one occasion yesterday, he made a single play, and it was fantastic. He got a guy, I can't remember who he tackled, but he held him up, looked at Nick Berry, said, "Is this a maul?" He said, "Yes," bang, killed the ball.
And then he went down.
Turnover. He turned the ball over 2 other occasions straight on top of the ball. He was just everywhere.
Yeah.
And really cool, calm, and collected in everything he did. I know Talakai was the one who made the speech at the end, but to me, Connor Anderson was the guy for 60 minutes yesterday, and all year he's been driving that team, making the decisions on field, and he has just been absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
He will be a part of this Challenger series.
Yeah. Has to be.
Yeah, he will, obviously, but I'm really interested to see how he goes. Whether he's in that red side or the other one, it'll be interesting to see how he goes to that next level. Because, you talked about it before at Angelo Smith. There's spots available in these Super Rugby clubs.
Yeah, I mean...
You know what I mean? does he pick something up? Does he pick a preseason up?
Yeah, and you spoke about it before, Jay. You know, you talk about someone like Connor. He does the little things well, and he does the shit as well. He does that, but I mean, you don't win the Alec Evans medal for just doing shit. Like, he has got an absolute presence on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, we spoke about referees picking it and referees seeing tries and seeing tries scored and seeing line breaks. But they obviously are seeing the impact that he's having in and around the breakdown.
From a leadership
in and
point of
around
view,
at set
man.
piece. And he's communicating with them, you know. And they'll come up from the game being like, hey, that dude, he was switched on. He was asking, especially guys like Damon and Nick Berry, you know, when they get into the deeper into the season. And he's someone who has just thoroughly impressed me this year. And in agreement with Dal, I reckon he'll definitely be involved. And, you know, and he's got such a big frame.
Huge, mate.
Like, and he's a big dude. I remember playing him in 2020. I was like, man, this guy's a beast at number 7. I was like, please don't run down my channel. But yeah, mate, I'd love to see him pushing for higher honours, definitely.
No Pat Murray even in the top 5, Dal. We were all adamant. We were like, do you think it's just a matter of we expect that from Pat Murray, that you just he doesn't stand out as much as some other players because you just expect him to be Pat Murray?
Yeah, potentially. I think he had a slow start to the year.
I was about to say, I think we were possibly blinded by his unbelievable finish to the end of the year, and it maybe affected.
And I think he'll be the first one to admit that. I think he started a little bit slow, but I think also when you're in an environment like that, in a team like that are performing so well, majority of the time, someone like Kai Oates or Matt Greeley or those outside backs who were so prevalent for them this year,
will get the points.
They're going to be the ones getting the points. You know what I mean? He quite often, because he does a lot of the shit stuff, you know what I mean? He's a hard worker. But what he brought this year was a little bit more X factor, a little bit more ball play, a little bit more running game.
Well, he had to.
That's right. And so he brought that. But I think in that environment and that team, it's quite often going to be an Oates or a Greeley who are going to get those points.
Yeah. And we also saw as well the newly formed Selena Worsley medal for Women's Premier Rugby Player of the Year. Awesome initiative by the QAU to get this going. I'm honestly a little bit surprised it's taken this long, but
I couldn't believe it when they were
I was like,
the inaugural award.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
have they only started playing this year?
No,
Idiots.
No, I mean, I've hosted like 4 of those breakfasts and I didn't even think about it. Like, you don't even think about it. But goes to Alana Elisaya from West as well. So West cleaning up in the individual club honours.
Doggies, mate.
Doggies, mate.
Golden run.
You're the dog, mate. Maybe we'll be like Tigers and just go shit the bed next year.
I reckon you will be,
Probably.
100%.
Yeah, we'll still be hungover. And then also we saw the under-20s Player of the Year, Harry McLaughlin Phillips. Do you know much about this kid at all? Dal from Souths?
He's very good.
What position?
10. Came out of BBC last year. Still only Still only 18. So he's just turned 18 this year. So he's still got obviously 2 more years of Colts. Played a couple of games for South Premier Grade off the bench at the back of the year and was very, very good. He's got time on the ball. He challenges the line extremely well. He understands the game for an 18-year-old almost better than anyone I've ever seen. You know how when Quaid was coming through, he was like, people always said, he was 2 or 3, phases ahead of everyone else. This is Harry. Harry's not looking here. Harry's looking up and above and beyond the defensive line. So he's seeing the spaces.
This kid play.
No, he's good. He's absolutely. The Reds will obviously lock him down. There'll be something there, but he's a one to watch.
Hell yeah!
Sounds
man.
like it. Fuck. I'm gonna go back and watch some footage now. I love watching good young playmakers come through.
All right, just trying to get word from Harry Higgins.
Man, I would not hold our breath.
No, maybe we won't, Maybe we just plough ahead then and we'll see what Harry does.
See
Hopefully
if he dials in, he dials in.
Oh, mate. He
and we'll just strap in and prepare ourselves for the ride.
Tino was saying there's probably 2,000 people down at West last night. They had a 4 a.m. extended license. They'd roped off, I think, from the 22 across the field down to the other 22. He said it was like a music festival. I was watching it.
That's awesome.
I was watching it at hospital with my wife and little baby girl. Like,
congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank
didn't
you
say
very
that.
much.
Had the weekend of your life.
I know. That's what I came dressed as, mate.
Dad,
mate, with my brothel creepers, my jorts. Thought I'd lean right into it. I had to get the mother-in-law to swing past today to get it because I didn't know it was Bad Monday thing, Tino, until you dropped it on me. So I've come as a new West dad. She'll be part of the puppy pack soon.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, I was just sitting there and I was like, oh man,
Literally, life couldn't get any better.
I said to no, not at all. Well, if Matthew Reynard wasn't such a prick, maybe it could have been a perfect weekend. But I was literally like watching it, and I was just like, man, there's only one thing that could have possibly stopped me from being there tonight, potentially, and probably relapsing, and it was the birth of my daughter. So I was like, fuck.
There's a reason for everything.
There is a reason,
There's
man.
a
I'll let it
reason for
slide. So
everything.
she potentially saved me from relapsing and destroying my marriage and all that sort of stuff. But man, it
So you're gonna love
was
her forever.
wild.
She's the,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
She's cute as a button, man.
she is.
I am so stoked that she's cute because I was like, there's been a few acid trips where I've thought, man, I'm like rearranging my DNA here, man. So she came out cute as a button, 10 fingers, 10 toes, one head, and I'm like,
That's all you can ask for.
dodged a bullet with that one. So, but yeah, man, I was just watching it, and mate, it was wild down at West last night. Did you catch any of it?
I saw it, and like again, I'm not a West supporter by any stretch, but I kind of wished I was there. Do you know what I mean? I saw like the likes of Ryan Freeney, who, by the way, is the only person I think I've ever met who can do what he did yesterday. You know what I mean? He rocks up, throws a West jersey on,
In full West kit.
in and amongst
On
the
stand
crowd.
as well.
And everyone's just laughing it off, going, "Oh, that's Freens." You know what I mean? And ends up having the bender of his life.
Yeah.
Hence
Doesn't
why
The
he's not
day
here.
before being at Jeeps.
Yeah,
On the hiss with them all day.
Yeah.
it's
Hence
just
why he's
No,
not here, mate.
no loyalty. No loyalty. Freeney, you're a joke. I know you're tuning in and you're watching, and you are a joke.
He sent a voice message in the WhatsApp today. We're like, "What's your rugby friends?" And it was like, we're like, "Oh, all right." And then he sent that video. He's like, "I'm done. No more Mad Mondays." Like,
Let's
you
get the
coward.
video. Let's get the video up, Zachy.
Yeah, can we get that video up? Zach's got to pull it up because it is red hot, man. While we're actually doing that, we might actually get into our Wallabies segment. So we saw on the weekend, we've got a bit of footage that we're going to show of it as well. It's the Wallabies eventually going down 39-37 to the All Blacks.
Can we first discuss why they put the fireworks on with the roof closed and left it
Yes.
smoky as hell?
I was
for-
about to say,
What the
man,
hell were they
it was
thinking?
insane the first few minutes. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Because I was like, isn't this an enclosed stadium? And it's just smoke
I was watching
absolutely
it, with
everywhere.
a few people. They were like, "Man, is it real foggy in Melbourne?" I was like, "Nah, I think they just put the fireworks on with the roof closed."
But at the end of the, like, obviously we're going to get to the call at the end of the game. We'll discuss the majority of the game beforehand anyway. But this was a game that, like, old Wallabies would have capitulated. Absolutely capitulated. Good start. Rob Valentini, especially.
Man,
Unbelievable, mate.
He's so good, man.
But there was a lot of conjecture, from us included, about the team they selected, Dal. And
And
the
Pete
team-
Samu, man.
Yes.
Here's my rugby. Brilliant. But, you know, you spoke about the old Wallabies capitulating. And, yes, there's some resilience in the group, and they fight to the end. But, I mean, the old All Blacks don't do that. Like, this
No.
new All Blacks just looks
No.
so vulnerable, hey?
Yes, that's
Like-
what...
And I just don't know what to put it down to. Because it's like, you know, like he does this, and you're like, oh,
mate.
they're going to run away with it
And
now.
then that
Still got
try
10
to Will
minutes.
Jordan, I was
Yeah.
like, here we go. This is the All Blacks of old. Like, this is ridiculous, mate. Will Jordan,
Yeah.
I think, is going to be like a 3 or 4 time World Rugby Player of the Year.
he's a freak.
He is unbelievable, mate.
Absolute freak.
Unbelievable. And when that try was scored, I was like, shit the bed, we're done.
Yeah.
We are going to battle to come back from this. But credit to the Wallabies, they were phenomenal. And like as I alluded to before, like look at that from Valentini. Gets over the ad line and then quick ball, short ball, Kellaway, flat as well. What do you reckon? Flat or forward?
It's a try.
Flat.
It's a
Flat
try.
as. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
God, I hate All Blacks.
I think
supporters,
Kellaway
man.
stays at the back for
Yeah, I think
the
he's stamped his
foreseeable
authority
future.
on it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has to.
Yeah.
But it's just it is hard to like put your finger on what the Wallabies, what the All Blacks are all about at the moment, because they can just be so brilliant. And then that read and defence from
That's
Richie Mo'unga
terrible defence.
was shocking, because Kellaway had a man inside and outside there. And
Yeah, but-
I think it was
but
it
you
Caleb
see-
Clark shot up.
But it's just what I don't like about they shifted it around, trying to hide him at 13. You know, if that's Rico Ioane, he jams Foley at the back.
Yeah.
But Pete Sawi, man.
So your thoughts on the selections, Dallin? We said there was a few head scratches, but Jake Gordon, I thought, was awesome. Like, Nick White was a hell of a lot better. But, like, Jake Gordon, I think, he just seems to marshal the troops well, but this was an absolute shit show at the end here. And we've actually got other footage of this, Dow. Zachy Boy, if you want to bring it up. Matthew Raynell. Nearly blew my weekend, mate. But your thoughts. We know what's happened, right? We saw that this was turned over. Let's watch this.
Only black on the ground. Black on the ground. Player goes out of the mall, then there is a contest. On his feet, fine. Yeah, play on, please. We play. We play. Time off.
Okay.
We play. We play. No, no.
Got a lot of finishes.
I will switch on the time, and we play now. Time on. 10. Done. Oh, I told you to.
Time is off.
Time off. I will explain it. No. Time off. Time off.
Dang, Coles, man. He's going to punch you in the face.
Move back.
Time is off.
Move back.
such a
No, no.
nigger.
I switch on the time.
Time is off.
Can I explain it?
Time is off. I'm not wasting time. I'm about to kick it.
Who is the captain? Come.
So,
Push back.
well, big moment. We will kick this. He was just about to kick it.
No, captain. Please push back. I said first,
Yes.
you play. We play. Okay.
You heard?
Then I time off. I switch off the time. I say to your player, I switch on the time and you play immediately.
Okay.
And he wait. So that's a scrum for the.
So much conjecture. Dow, your thoughts?
It's tough because I feel like definitely they were wasting time.
It's tougher when you see that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and so like he gives him ample time to
Lots.
actually kick the ball.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like if it's this might sound a bit funny, but if it's an Australian or if it's a New Zealand referee, he goes blows his whistle and he goes, Bernard, stop fucking around and kick the ball. All right, but because Raynell is the way Raynell is, he's
French.
He's French and he's, you know what I mean.
A prick.
No, not so much that, but
Oh, goodness.
he's a stickler for the rules, and he goes, well, you're fucking around, you know, time to go. So that's my take.
We'll come back to it, I guess.
Let's come back to that because on the blower, coming live from West Mad Monday, eventually, finally, 28 minutes past the hour, we have Harry Higgins joining us. Haz, how are you, brother?
Sorry, guys. Let me just button up here quickly.
No, man, leave it unbuttoned.
How are we? How are we?
How are you, mate? You sound like you've been gargling with cigarettes, brother.
Mate, I had a few diaries today. Had a few beers. And, it's been just reporting for duty. You know, just doing our due diligence and serving the goods gods.
The good Scott.
Harry, can I ask what part of the dynamic duo you're from?
I'm Maverick, and Jack would be Goose.
Oh, Dirty Jack. So your Top Gun theme, huh?
Mate, Dirty Jack's been absolutely ripping and tearing. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull. Oh, I can't even change my screen to show you. But have a look at this.
What are we looking at here, Haz?
There they are.
So there's a
Boys are
select few still going, mate.
Mate, they're strong and proud, mate, to be honest. Strong and
Well, mate, how run us through yesterday's game, mate, how it made you feel, and then obviously the after party as well. That would look like one for the ages.
Oh, mate, absolutely one for the ages. Made the game, incredible experience. The boys really... everybody's having a cheers right now, so I've got to behave myself. But mate, it was awesome. It was a really good performance by a lot of the lads. Everyone sort of showed up, did their job. After was even better, coming back to the kennel and seeing the community here and look, hey, Steve, 500.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Mate, that's culture. That is culture 101 right there.
oh
Mate, double parks. Double parks.
Harry, a few guys led from the front yesterday. You got your Urus, your Angelo Smiths, your Whitesides, your Andersons. Today, last night, who's led from the front? Besides yourself, let's discount you.
Oh, mate, here's probably number one.
oh, Dirty Jack.
Here comes the goose. Oh, Freddie Fruchel. Freddie Fruchel. Oh, it's Freddie Fruchel. Here comes the goose. Goose, I've got the need. I've got the need for speed. I think I'm going to go to bed, mate. Okay. As a dad, mate, you really should go. Wise words from the 400 father, mate. Go to bed. So, yeah, this is the dynamic duo. That's us. G'day, guys. How are
Dirty Jack, you're looking good, brother.
we? Thanks, brother. You too.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Mate, these two are way better looking than the original Maverick and Goose. Well done, guys.
I
Mate, we decided to add a few additions to it, but yeah, mate, it's done quite well so far. So we're very happy with the success.
But yeah, outside of Dirty Jack, so who would you say was best on ground the last 24 hours post that final whistle?
Mate, to be honest, Keenan is still in his full kit. He's still got his strapping tape and boots on.
Oh, mate.
Jesus.
Yes.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's
he's
so
absolutely
sick.
crushed it. We've been to about 3 or 4 bars today, and he's managed to maintain a full presence the whole way through. So he's done really, really well. Mate, other than that, all the boys have put in a really solid shift. You know, we got the coaches leading by the front. I'm pretty sure I saw Cass in his Speedos in his sink at some point. So that was
Yeah, I saw
pretty
that too.
impressive.
Oh, I saw that.
Hey, we didn't even ask him to. He just strapped pulled his pants down and straight into the sink. One of the best things ever.
Well, mate, we won't hold you up too much longer, but obviously you have had a storied career. We got you on a month or so ago just to talk about it, and you announced your retirement yesterday. That's got to be one hell of a way to send off a career, mate.
Mate, absolutely. I mean, I always wanted to finish where I started, and winning the premiership is also, it's just the icing on the cake, mate. Coming back here and doing what you love in front of the people you care about, and all my mates were there, my family, and doing it with the people I care about was probably the most meaningful part of it all. But getting the win was definitely a really good way to finish out my career and just enjoy it with the people.
Hell
awesome,
yeah, man.
Really.
What time did you wrap up last night, Has?
Mate, we're still going.
I knew it, man. Some things never change, man. I love you, Has. Mate, thanks so much for winning a premiership for us, brother. You've absolutely made it.
Anytime, but I'll leave you this one thing. If you can't be good at it. So that's the one thing I'll leave you with.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Wise
Harry
words.
Higgins, everybody. Rip it. Yes. On your Has. Harry Higgins dialing in from
mate,
Mad
what a
Monday.
legend.
Bless him. He is one of the greats, man. It just doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't really have a filter, but. Oh,
Mate, he was brilliant. He spoke
awesome.
extremely well
he is the best.
for
Hunter was
20,
horrible.
24 hours
Hunter was
straight.
like that at about 10:15 yesterday morning.
Hunter's telling you to go home, mate. Hunter Thomas, go home.
Oh, mate.
Far out.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, never again.
But
all right.
I reckon Harry, he'll come back. They'll play that Australian Club Championship game next year, and he'll come back.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Just for one last game like you did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That'd be absolutely awesome if he did. All right, let's just actually, we do have the Gibbons on the line, so we'll just finish off, obviously, discussing that All Blacks fixture. So, Dal, I mean, you were seeing that context, but Dos, your thoughts on it. You hadn't actually seen that footage. You hadn't heard the unedited or at least the literal just what he was saying with the subtitles on there as well. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what Dal just said. If it's an Australian or a New Zealand refereeing the game, they turn the time off and they say kick the ball out and they give him another shot at it.
Yes.
Whether or not that's the right thing to do or what Reynolds, I mean, you tell them once, then if they don't do it, you penalise them, is obviously the methodology that he's, the way he approaches the game. I don't know. I've just never seen a penalty been given in any game of rugby for wasting time.
No.
And I know it's by letter of the law, like it's
Yes.
probably a rule, which is, I mean, as any controversial point, there's both sides, there's an argument for both sides.
Yes.
And as a Wallaby supporter, it hurts because
technically
the
he's
Bledisloh's
in
gone
the
for
wrong.
another year. Because technically he is in the wrong, but but who cares? Because we've got the Gibbonses on the line.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, technically it's the rule. That is the law. But you've got everyone in both sides. You've got Tim Horan, all these players going, I've never seen that awarded before. And then Ian Foster, knowing these jobs on the lines, going, yeah, no, right, cool. You're like, okay. But Zach and I were actually talking about it, and we agree. If that's an English-speaking referee, because all he says is he goes, okay, like Nick White goes, is this a mark? He goes, yeah, play. And he's like, if that was an English ref, you'd say, is this a mark? You'd be like, yeah, that's a mark. Kick it out. Like, we want to hurry it up. But he just goes, yes, kick it. And he's like, yeah, all right, puts it down.
No, I think
from Matthew
it was clearer than that.
No, but at the end of it, right, he goes, I'm going to turn time on and we play. And he's like, okay. The only warning he gives after that is he says 10.
I get it, but then
do you know what I mean? Like, there's no
footage.
like,
Mate,
if that's Nigel Owens,
you see Lalakai Feketi, you see Lenny
blowing up, because
pointing,
he's standing there seeing the ref. Bernard
they
Foley's
can
under
hear
the impression he's like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm just going to see it. Like, he was taking his time, but from penalty blown to free kick given is 39 seconds. 10 seconds of that is bum taps all round. Another 8 seconds is time off. So you're saying for 20 seconds he's wasted time. And as like, if that is Nigel Owens, who has come out in support of Matthew Raynal, he actually said, it was the right call. But if that's Nigel Owens, he blows the whistle and goes, you kick the ball out now,
but
stop wasting time.
You can't say that.
Well, he would have said, we need you to hurry up, but he's just like, you need to play now. And so, I don't know. I think there's a huge breakdown in communication. Like, and if it's an English-speaking referee, they probably get their point across. Bernard Foley's just hearing, like, you play now. He's like, I'm going to play. Like, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny seeing
online.
all these All Blacks fans piss and moan, and they're like, you'd be pretty pissed off too. And you're like, yeah, probably. Like, whatever. Suck my dick. All right, now joining us on the blower, we're going for a little three-way here. We have from Wallabies camp, Matt Gibbon, and from Mad Monday, Alex Gibbon. Yeah, how are we, lads?
Good.
Alex, you're looking pretty good, man. How you holding up? You won a second grade grand final yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm hurting, mate. I'm hurting a lot.
Alex,
Hell yeah, man.
talk
So we
us.
won.
Yeah, talk us through the day, mate. Obviously, you were your captain as well, Alex. Captain coach.
Yeah, mate. I'm captain and coach, so I can pick myself. But no, mate, it was good. It's first time in 42 years at the club's been in a final, and obviously first time we've been back up and running the last, I think, 10 years or something. So yeah, it was really good, and we got the win. We actually smashed Ballina, 33 points to 12, I think. But yeah, afterward was pretty good. The last couple of days, I got to see Matt there for a little while, having a few beers before Wallabies camp. Hey, Matt, it was good.
What are you talking about, mate?
Yes, the Eagles started early. I love it.
Oh, brilliant.
But Matt,
no, I haven't slept yet, mate. It's been a good weekend.
Hell yeah. And Matt, obviously on the other side of the coin, you are a Wallaby camp. We were literally just talking about that loss on Thursday night. How is the vibe after what was a pretty heartbreaking end to an awesome game of footy?
Yeah, mate. Obviously, like I heard you talking just before I got on here, and it is a bit heartbreaking, and it's a bit like obviously the boys are quite angry, but it is what it is. Like, the game's over. You can't change the facts. So we're just kind of, I feel like the boys are just getting quite angry and quite ready to just top these guys off at Eden Park. Just really, I don't think we've won there. I don't think anyone's won there in bloody, I don't know how many years. So we're just like, if there's any way to come back at them for us, such a shit way to lose, then that's the way we do it.
100%. I think you've just got to use that result as motivation for the next week rather than dwell on things. Alex, I just want to switch back to you. You know, we're used to seeing you shred on the Aussie Sevens field, obviously an outside back when you were playing Super Rugby. I can imagine as the coach and the captain, and I think these guys are saying the club president, playing, you're probably not going to pick yourself on the wing. What position did you play yesterday in the grand final or on Saturday?
Started at 9 and ended up playing 5'8".
Yes, that is the exact combination. I'd probably go the reverse. I'd start at 10 and move to 9.
Yeah, I started playing tight head prop at the start of the season, but my wife told me she'd leave me if I kept doing that. So.
But touching on that, Alex, it's a very unique story, your one, obviously, as Dos alluded to, in the Sevens arena for 4 or 5 seasons, and then played a bit of NRC, but then you decided to go back home to the Northern Rivers, and you got, is it Richmond Range back up and running, a club that was almost or had been defunct. You've now got it up and running. You've got a women's side, all that sort of stuff going. Like, run us through that little arc in the story.
Well, we moved to the area, and obviously I wasn't going to stop playing yet, but I found that there was a lot of young guys in our area that were just getting on the piss and had nothing else to do, and I decided to talk to a few people about the old club that used to be going. I think they recently closed in 2007 or something like that. That was the last time they had a team. So my wife and I got with some locals and, said we'll have a training session, and I thought, we might get 15 or 20 people. We ended up getting like 45 people rock up, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do here? It's just pretty unbelievable. But, only 5 blokes had ever played rugby union. The rest of them had either played league or no team sport at all. And then that was right when COVID hit. So we did two seasons in a row in 3rd grade in President's Cup and made the finals, but obviously they never got played because of COVID. And then this year they were going to get rid of President's Cup altogether, and we decided to go into the 2nd grade comp, and we won that. So the rest is history.
Hell yeah.
But it's been a good show.
What a story.
That's awesome, eh?
Yeah.
And Alex, we're you and Paige are obviously really good friends with Kane and Jen Douglas. I grew pretty close with Kane when I came back to the Reds in 2018, I think, and we keep in touch. And he's been talking to me about post rugby life. Would you give him a gig at the Richmond Rangers?
Of course I would, mate. We suck at lineouts.
That's I said, mate.
Hope your second rowers aren't watching, eh? They're like sitting in a beer. He hates me.
They will be passed out.
Matty, back to you. Obviously, a pretty incredible year for you. Talk us through what I guess the last kind of 6 to 8 weeks have been like, and obviously making your debut for the Wallabies, living out a childhood dream, and tell us what it's been like, and then obviously being a part of Wallaby camp and how it's all been.
Yeah, mate, it's been bloody brilliant. Obviously, it came in at a tough time for me and Alex with our grandpa, and just getting that cap, especially with one of our close mates, Jedi. It was really special for me, a lifelong dream. And these past 8 weeks have been tough, really, for me. So I think so I've been getting all the late call ups. Really, I get a call from Webby when I'm playing golf, like half cut, just saying if I can come up. So I have been good, but I've been doing the MAS running and contact conditioning. So as much as I love and want to be here, I fucking want to get a couple more games. I'll tell you what.
And so you should, mate, absolutely. For you two as well, obviously both at the same time, both your respective partners, are currently pregnant. Was that planned, boys, or is it just by coincidence?
I think yeah. What'd you say?
Go on, Matt.
Well. Actually, Alex, he
I don't
called
say
me and
anything, mate.
that Paige was pregnant, and at the time, I think my partner was pregnant about a weekend. Like, well, you're probably about a weekend, and we were just thinking to get a test. And
It's 4 weeks,
when
mate. 4 weeks in.
yeah, but,
I wouldn't know that.
no, but like we were about to do a test, and when Alex and Paige told us, Mrs. didn't believe it. Like she thought that I had told them about us. So yeah, it was a big surprise for all of us, really. I think it's quite exciting, and then we find out Alex is having a little boy, and I thought we might be going along the same way, but no, I ended up having a little girl. So pretty excited to see them both grow up together.
Hell yeah, man.
No one else is excited about having a little girl around me.
Oh, this is good gas. This is real good gas. Well, so one thing that a lot of you sort of touched on it before, Matt, about your grandpa. And I don't know if you guys are happy to talk about it, but obviously, tragically, he passed away just before you flew out to Argentina, making your debut just a couple of days after that, and he was a huge part of both yours and Alex's lives. Obviously. Essentially raising you, and he was the guy that got you guys into rugby. I think you guys have said, and I quote, you were little shits, you were little rat bags, and it was his way of getting into the game, and it's given you guys so much. Can you just fill us in on just how much your grandpa really meant to you guys, and what it means to you to be able to pull on a Wallaby jersey in honour of him?
Yeah, mate. So like you just said, so we were a little shit, especially Alex. I think. I think so. Dave started looking after us. How old were you, Alex?
Probably 11.
Yeah, probably 11. So about 8 and 11. So we were mucking around in Alstonville, didn't really give a shit. And then Dave pretty much said, like, you guys need to sort your shit out, come play rugby, and do some hard work on the farm. And really, it's just kind of straightened both of us out. I think Alex is a bit mad, so I think it straightened him out more than me. And I think us going to Nudgee eventually, following our grandpa's lead of always wanting to play for the Wallabies, I think he it was always his dream, so it kind of just flew onto us. And yeah, as soon as like we got into that sort of headspace, making good mates, like he's always making good mates in rugby, and then we going on to play for Nudgee, and then going down to Southern District. Me and Alex got a few games together down there, and then yeah, mate, like he was always there, always supporting us, always. He always fucking said attack the ruck every game. I never heard him say another word so many times, even when. So just before he died, actually, I think I've said this a couple of times in the media, but like, there was a night before he died. I got my grandma to just give the phone to him and leave the room so I could tell him that my missus was pregnant, because we knew Alex was, but this was just very recent for us. So I got to tell him, yeah, she's pregnant, and all he said was, "Well done, mate. Make sure you tack the ruck when you're over there, eh?" And I was like,
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
That's
so yeah, there's very few priorities, that man. And yeah, as always.
Sounded like he got his priorities right.
Bloody O.
Yeah.
No, but I guess just hearing that story, it makes me, I guess, go to you, Alex. Do you going back home, resurrecting this rugby club, I guess what rugby sort of did for you, set you on the straight and narrow, obviously, then you got to go to, and I know the guys that you're training and coaching and playing with are a lot older, but, are you harnessing your inner granddad and, setting something in place for these guys out there, something for them to aim towards every weekend and bring a bit more structure and bring everyone together?
I think that it is like you probably nail it on the head a little bit there. Like he loved rugby, but also loved the people. And I think that's the important thing to think about, is that it's all about the people around you. And I think this community's needed it more than anything. And when I got here it makes you happy to see other people happy, and you play better footy when you do it as well. But I mean, Dave always had this rule, and I suppose I'm following in his footstep, that he would never play rugby unless he was playing in the first grade team. So he would move further west his whole life and played until he was 48. And he'd always make sure he was either the captain, coach, or play first grade. So I'm doing the same thing. I hope to move further west, but yeah, I'm already west enough.
Alex, you've obviously forged your own path. You represented Australia in the sevens. You played for the Queensland Reds. You've played obviously a fair amount of high level rugby, and now you're forging your own path in regards to business and in real estate and your property, all that. But how special is it for you to watch your little brother, who you've gone through with so much? How special is it to see him succeed and achieve the goals that he wants to achieve, and ultimately represent his country?
It's obviously, it makes me super proud. I was telling someone a funny story there last night, and I hope DC is watching this, because this is how Matt's career started. But when I thought I was a superstar in Sydney at NRC, I said to DC, if you want me, you got to bring my brother too. And he got us on the piss, and Matt said, shit, I want to be with this bloke. And I reckon we were all sitting in that pub till about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I said, yeah, I'll be part of this NRC team as well. Anyway, 3 years later, I was moving up here in Brisbane, and I had stopped playing professionally. And DC gives me a call and says, oh, Gibbo said he'll only play NRC if you're in the team too. And I said, how good's this? The roles are reversed. So, going through my rugby career with my brother was always really special. But, I mean, he kept going, and he just showed the strength he had. So when he was at Melbourne, he got that award a few years ago. I suppose that just shows who we are as people. But you never give up, and you keep trying, and it's good to see him there. So he does deserve it. But hopefully we can see him many more times. And he's the better Gibbon now.
Waiting for something. I was like, that was too nice and heartfelt for it to just go under the radar. I was like, surely something's coming here. But Matt, you've had a pretty. People would think it's pretty meteoric in regards to your rise into the Wallaby camp, but there's been, you've gone through the system, through Southern Districts, into the Rebels camp, and you've sort of slowly gone about it, and now you found your way. There was that injury, I think, to Angus Bell that allowed you to get your Wallabies call up, but it's been a really slow, long grind for you, and you found yourself now here. I mean, what is it that you're looking for more here? Is it just more game time with the Rebels, or do you want to start to be a part of this Wallabies fold that hopefully get back the Bledisloe, get back the Rugby World Cup? It's just been such a storied career with injuries and such a long time getting to where you're going now. I just want to get your thoughts on really how you can just push on from here.
Yeah, mate. To be honest, sorry.
He's just talking shit.
So it all really goes back to Dave again. So Dave, when we were growing up, he always said, if you're ever going to try be a rugby player, you need to get a job behind you first. And I think so. Alex went the plumber way, and I went the Sparky way. So I did that before I ever had a real crack at rugby, and I'm happy I did. I think I was about 24 when I finished my apprenticeship, and then went down to the Rebels. And I feel like knowing what it's like on the outside gives me a bit of that pump up when I'm on the inside, looking out like how much I appreciate being here. And then, like you said, like the further you get up the chain, the more you realize how fucking special it is to be up in that top squad and stuff like that. And I'm at that point where I just want to grab on and never let go. So, I mean, a World Cup would be the dream. And obviously the Bledisloe is a bloody... I'm still angry about the weekend. So, yeah, another year away. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's... He's just talking shit. But from both of you guys, it's been a pretty wild ride and two very distinctly different but very unique careers. And I just think it's awesome to see what you guys are doing, Alex. Like, you're back in the country rugby, the Northern Rivers rugby community, growing a rugby club. And Matt, you're obviously chasing that Wallaby dream. But on your side, Alex, what more is there for you to do within that country rugby setup? Like, are you looking to maybe try and just continue building up Richmond Range, or do you want to expand out? Is there any more within that sort of country rugby community or Northern Rivers community you want to really focus on?
So probably more. I'm still in the New South Wales country team as well, which we play in Adelaide in a couple of weeks. But I'd really like to try and show that there's a pathway for young kids again. Because I think about myself and Matt. We went to Nudgee. I played second 15, but I played country rugby and moved to Sydney to play at Southern District. So my pathway was country rugby, but I just never gave up. But a lot of kids at sort of 18 and 19, I was ringing wet 65 kilos when I was at Nudgee, mate. I was never going to play first 15. But then I met McDonald's and KFC when I got out of the dorms and put on some weight. So my big goal and improve country pathways so that there's some of those 19 and 20-year-old kids can actually see that there is an opportunity to still go and play at the Waratahs or still get a gig in Sydney somewhere. Something that I'd love to try and do.
Mate, that's absolutely awesome.
Alex, for you take the team you've got. Let's just hypothetically here, you take them professionally. They become a professional team, all right? You get to recruit one guy to be the captain of your club. Who do you recruit and why?
Ooh. Okay, one club now or when I used to play?
No, now. So say you're the president of your club. It's gone professional. You get to recruit one guy to be your captain. Who is it and why?
That's a hard one. Probably right now, if I'd want to pick someone like Fraser McWright because I think he's a weapon of a person on and off the field, and I think it's really important to have both those attributes. And I also think that he's got a bright future, and people like to follow him. So he'd be someone, if you're talking about a future professional, that's who I'd be going for.
Oh, that's a very smart, intelligent answer. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like it.
That's really good. All right, lads. Well, look, we really appreciate your time. Guys, as I said, you've had such a unique experience and a life, and you've both kicked so many goals, and I know I speak for everyone when we say your granddad would be so proud of what you guys have done. You're doing absolutely awesome. And Matt, for you, hopefully you can play a few more games for Wallabies, and Alex, for you, hopefully you can
sell some more property.
I was going to say maybe get some sleep tonight.
Thank you,
guys. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Cheers, boys.
You too. Cheers.
The Gibbon brothers, everybody. Our first three-way.
Outstanding.
Sorry.
Tonight.
I don't know if they got that on the mic. When I said our first three-way, we just heard Alex Gibbon say tonight. But crazy. Like, just...
I think that's my favourite interview.
It was just so wild,
humans,
man.
and they're so polar opposite. You've got Alex, who is
larrikin.
so out there, right?
Yeah.
He's an absolute larrikin. And you've got Matt, who, unless you talk to Matt, he doesn't talk, right? Like, you've got to pull things. And that's why Alex was like, come on, talk.
Yeah.
Talk,
say
Matt.
Something,
Talk.
Say something.
Okay.
But they're just beautiful people.
Yeah, but like, we sort of touched on it. You know, so their parents, I think, both had mental disabilities and started a family, and then it obviously broke down, and they were very wayward kids, you know, like, and it was their granddad who put him in the line. I didn't get to ask him, but I'm pretty sure their granddad used to crack whips at him at footy training. He'd say, if you don't want to run around the oval, and go to his car and bust out the whip.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, not at all. But, I mean, and then they find themselves on these two... Like, their careers just do this and never intersect, and you've got Matt on the brink of, like, a storied Wallaby career, and you've got Alex resurrecting a country rugby club. Literally from the brink. Like, it was defunct. It hadn't been around for 10 years, and he's just like, yeah, we'll play some footy.
Seems like a good idea.
But it's just clearly two guys who play footy because they love it.
I mean, just passionate passionate
love it.
guys. And I mean, everyone needs a Dave in their life. Someone who he obviously, saw what was best for the kids, what they needed, wasn't afraid to tell them hard truths.
Whip them.
Whip them.
Literally.
I love the fact that, Matt mentioned then that he was 24 when he decided to pursue his rugby career because Dave told him, get something behind you. And it just makes you appreciate things, give you different perspective, things that we already know.
Yeah.
Things that we already know, but when you're in the bubble and when you're playing and you're young and you get your contract, you just, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I do that, man? Look what I'm doing now.
Yep.
But, oh, man, and then Alex, what he's doing, fuck, that was so good. That was
awesome.
Man. Yeah.
That was...
You made me feel great at the start of the episode, and these guys just taking it to another
Mate,
level.
that was so good, man. Just fucking wild, Still just having a good time. Alrighty, so it is time for the Battlers Bench segment. So we've had a few Mad Mondays are going off and all this sort of stuff. So, look, every grand final, there's always those, amazing stories, the beautiful photos, and I think we've got a few here just from the weekend just gone. And in particular, Swaney shared this one from Waverley Colleagues. The Waverley Colleagues won the subbies competition down in Sydney. And this got me thinking because it's like he said, you'd be hard-pressed finding a better sports photo than that. A subbies rugby side coming away with the premiership. And there's others from QPR on the weekend just gone. I think, look at this one here, Connor Anderson. This is from Source from the QRU. He actually says this is probably his favourite grand final photo. And you can't help but think,
It's a great pic.
It's unbelievable, mate. It is unbelievable. I think we've got another one here. Harry Higgins. What a career. It's like the Gibbons, mate. An insane career. And then that one there. Seru on the blaster. You've got Johnny Dick Gore holding the cup. These are the sort of photos that just make grand final weekend so awesome, right?
100%.
So awesome. But then there's Mad Monday.
I just wish I could remember them all.
Yeah, so then there's Mad Monday, and we thought, who better to show us around the West after party at the grand final than Ryan Fellini himself? So we thought we'd send him out and get his thoughts on it.
We're down for f***ing rugby in Australia, mate. Darcy's not here. I have to be the fact. I'm holding the fucking ball. One in a row, boys! One in a row! Get down!
If you're not here, you're not anywhere. Seriously. We'll have to find a new song. Wait, we just want a premiership!
Oh, mate, that's absolutely awesome. And
that was all time.
We were alluding to it before, the fact that Freeney has no voice. I wonder why, but we'll show you the video he sent to the boys this morning just confirming he's no good.
I just can't. There's nothing there. I've given it a good night, boys. Yeah, there it is. Maybe. It's been 3 days, boys. I think I need to grow up.
I think I need to grow up.
Oh my god, it gets better and better every
He's
time.
the king.
It is. That's so good, man. Oh, that's so good, man.
It's like polar opposites.
Yeah, mate. It's just like, oh, mate. He is such a lunatic.
I just can't believe he's on the West bus after the premiership on the way, and no one's giving him shit.
No, as Dow said, no one else could do that.
No, literally no one else.
Everyone's just like, yeah, Freeze is on one.
Yeah.
If I did that down at Brothers, I'd get my ass handed to me. they'd be like, "The fuck are you doing here?" I'd be like, but I wouldn't have the balls to do it. I'd be like, "I don't know, man. I don't want to be here either." Eh?
He's just a clubman. Like, doesn't matter where he goes.
He's a rugby club.
He loves loves rugby clubs, mate, and that's all it is. And then we got some footage sent in from the Narrabri Blue Boars. They came away with the premiership yesterday as well. Morgan Jones and my old mate decided to send us a few videos from them on Monday. It's just literally one bloke rinsing by himself. Narrabri, mate. And then...
my goodness.
Oh, mate. And then there's a guy singing an acoustic version of Get Low by Lil Jon. Narrabri Blue Boars, mate. Getting up over the Gunnedah Red Devils. And then we've got this one here. Okay, so I'll just preface this one. I said in the chat, I'm like, if anybody has any good Mad Monday footage, send it through. And Johnny Brown, that, straight off the bat.
Of course.
Goes, I've got some footage. I don't have my old phone, so I've got some corkers on there. But here's some recent stuff. So this is from the KL Tigers Mad Monday celebration earlier this year.
Pissing?
Oh, God.
Jesus. That's crook. Oh, God. That's absolutely crook.
It's so loose, man.
I don't know if I want to see any more of these from Johnny.
And then he's got this one here. I think this is actually from Maggot Fest earlier this year. Just giving some dude a swirly.
I've got squids, baby.
Johnny Brown.
That's crook.
Johnny Brown is so sus, man.
My goodness.
He's like, oh yeah, I had plenty more, but they're not on I don't have my old phone on me. I'm like,
thank God.
Mate, I'm so glad you don't have your old phone on you, eh? Oh man, Mad Monday is loose as I can only imagine. Just some of the content that would have been coming out. Another thing we saw from the weekend just gone as well. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I saw this. It's unreal.
But this has got to be one of the greatest streaking performances in the history of rugby.
He still bins it.
McCarthy converts the try. Despite the distraction and full time in Oamaru, North Otago. It could be a big night for them. 89 points they have.
How good is that, dude, eh? Ah, man. And there's footage as well that was doing the rounds of him still sitting naked in the front of an Uber. In the front seat, and drivers just getting him around, man. Oh, man. New Zealand is a fucking wild place, eh? We need more streakers in Australian rugby, actually. And I actually got sent another Johnny Brown special. He actually said, I'm pretty sure... so Big Fat Dust, we know, hasn't been here for a month or so. He says he's up in Townsville working. And Johnny Brown said to this, saying this reeks of Big Fat Dust, and we think he's been moonlighting up in Townsville, actually. How's the little cod piece? And he's got a cod piece on his junk. It's so good, man. So Big Fat Das enjoying his life up down.
Side hustle.
It's got BFD all written all
it
over.
Reeks of Big Fat Das, doesn't it, eh?
100%.
You can picture him doing that, man, with the cod piece and all. Alrighty, now it's time. We don't have obviously any other footy we've got to get through, but it is time for our rugby segment. We've got to knock it on the head. So, Dow, your rugby... Oh, shit. I don't know if I'd sent this footage through to you, Zach, in regards to Lewis Wershon. Your rugby wanted to be Lewis Wershon from the weekend just gone, reserve grade fullback.
Mate, he was outstanding. He's a halfback, obviously. Played Australian 20s at halfback, playing 15. This game was just toing and froing, but he took it by the scruff of the neck and absolutely dominated every moment where it was going to be decided, and he does this to win the game in extra time.
Not even a penalty advantage.
Not even a penalty advantage. He steps up and goes, give me the fucking ball. I'm going to win this.
20-year-old kid?
20-year-old kid. Mate, he was unbelievable. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen on a rugby field.
Whoa.
Like
Was he good the whole game?
Whole game. He kicked 50 22s. He kicked goals. He took over the goal kicking because the goal kick was struggling. And he just went bang from the sideline. Like, he was outstanding.
And that South side, people wouldn't know, 2 weeks ago at Jeeps, dismantled that brother's side.
It was like 40-10.
Yeah, smoked them in tricky conditions at the Gallopers.
It was unbelievable.
Annihilated them, and they're the reigning champs as well. Like, Souths, their first grade stink. Well, aren't much top. I'll rephrase that. But every other grade is absolutely awesome and spearheaded by their reserve grade side. So for brothers to get that win and Lewis Wershon to do what he did, that's insane, mate.
It was.
Higher honours from here on out, you reckon, Dow?
100%. It's one of those guys that said, like, in every big moment, he said, give me the ball. Like, he just wanted the ball in his hands.
Out of
Does he
position,
stay
too.
at halfback? Because
well, mate, that's the thing. He's a genuine halfback, but, like,
Yeah.
he's a genuine footballer.
he's just a good footy player.
So he went through Sunny Coast Grammar and would
Sunny
play
Coast boy.
9, 10, 12, 15, and just has this full array of skills.
I mean, that's
Like-
what you want to see, right? 100%.
Yeah. Who was that Springboks not Shark Fury, the winger /
Went to Worcester.
halfback and
Yeah.
back and forth and all that sort of
Francois
stuff.
Hogarth.
Francois Hogarth.
That's him.
it.
Yeah. So, like, can be done. Has shown it to be
I
done.
mean, and it should be done. Like, kids should be playing every position until they finally pick one when they're 18, 19.
Or just start your own rugby club and do whatever the fuck you want if you're Alex Gibbon,
Alex
right?
Gibbon, exactly. He obviously wasn't happy where he was getting picked in his professional career.
Had to move out to the Northern Rivers just to be able to play 9 and 10 in a granny. Dos, your rugby from the weekend just gone.
Yeah,
Pete
Samu.
Samu.
Mate, he was outstanding. I know there's a bit of conjecture. Why Pete Samu? Why not Fraser Murray? It's still up for a debate whether, a genuine 7 is his position, but man, you just can't. His athleticism in the channels, like his feet, mate, he got a couple of turnovers at the breakdown. Just
Awesome, mate.
Just like we were talking about Louis Work, just a good footy player. Just got
Yep.
good game sense. He's fit, he's fast, he's physical. That's Will Jordan. He's just brushed off. Presence of mind to stay alive.
Yeah, mate, he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, he's awesome.
Yeah, he was him or Bobby Valentini. It was line ball decision.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's like, so where does Pete Samu play? Does he stay as a world-class finisher and then... But the thing is, he's got big game experience against Kiwis.
Yeah,
having made his name for the Satyrs.
Yeah.
Like,
playing against all those guys.
Yeah.
He's not, and Dal can probably attest to this. You see guys like someone like R.G. Snyman, the big Springbok. Like, he's a scary motherfucker, and he still is. But I played with him at Honda, and you get to know them as people. You see them train. You spend every day with them. And then, I don't know, you see them differently. It's not like RG, this scary motherfucking rugby dude. It's like, oh, this is RG, my mate. And you get out on the field and you feel differently.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time with different guys. Do you agree?
100%.
And you just feel different. They don't have that, I guess, that perception about them or whatever. They're just your friend, and then you can relax when you're playing around them. Pete might have that when he comes against when he plays against the All Blacks. But I mean, I don't think you necessarily need where does he fit in the team? I mean, just pick him in the squad. Sometimes he'll be on the bench. Sometimes he'll start when they need him. He's just a fucking quality footy player.
can play 6, 7, 8 easily.
Yep.
Man, he's so good. I love his hair, and I love he tucks his jersey in.
Yeah.
Looks like a concreter. My rugby from the weekend just gone. I can't go past Graham Brown. So we wanted to get.
Is he the president?
He is the president of West Rugby Club. So silent achiever.
Yeah.
Massive silent achiever. So
With
10
deep,
years
with deep
ago,
pockets.
10 years ago, come on.
With deep pockets.
He's a good man, Brownie. I love him to death. But he's a businessman more than anything else, right? So he was one of the guys who really formed West Rugby Club Incorporated, got the juniors and the seniors together, got this business plan together to be able to build this clubhouse, to lease out the off space to help the club grow, to build this program. Because 10 years ago, mate, there were creditors, there was debt. We were bottom of the ladder. Like, we loved chop and piss, but we sucked on the field. and not just at the top grade, but the whole way down. We struggled massively, and Brownie, he's been wanting to retire for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs the boots up. But he's just one more. And I saw him. I was at Jeeps 2 weeks ago, and I saw him when we won that final, because I spoke to him earlier this year, and he's like, J-Ball, what do we do to win finals? Because it's not just Premier grade. All of our grades, when they come to finals, struggle. We hadn't won a finals game in probably 3 or 4 years, and that's across all grades. And he's stuck at it. He's, as I said, a quiet achiever, and he has built arguably one of not just the best clubhouse, but one of the best run amateur clubs in Australia. Look at the recruitment they've got. Look at the culture they've got. Look at the number of juniors they've got. Senior retention, Colts program. That shit doesn't happen overnight. And, Elvie's great. Latu Talakai's great. Connor Anderson's great. Everyone knows that shit, right? Harry Higgins is a mutant. We all know that. Brownie doesn't get the credit he deserves. And, West don't win yesterday if it's not for him.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
He is the man. And
Are you about to cry?
A bit, yeah. It's been emotional, man. I had a baby, and I was bawling my eyes out yesterday watching the boys, eh? It was fucking good, man. Mate, fuck. I've spent 20 years at that club, man. And it's helped us through some pretty crazy shit. And it was good. It was good. Sorry, man. It's
so
been
good.
emotional.
Yeah, man. Let it out. That's
It's
good.
good,
I mean,
man.
And it's great to hear that perspective from you.
Yeah.
Someone who obviously loves the club.
Oh, man.
Been there through the tough times. There are people who have just come in the last couple of years, namely the Rebels pricks.
I love them.
But you know what? People are like, oh, yeah, the worst Rebels. I'm like, it was Jordan Walesi and Kabusilov.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else?
Ilikena Vidogo on occasion.
I mean, who played in the grand final?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean...
but there are a few. I think Max Johnson's from down there as well.
But Max Johnson is a West junior, right?
Yeah, and then
Correct.
there's
Carter Gordon's a West
Carter
junior.
Gordon,
Yeah,
Mason
well,
Gordon,
they came
Zach
from-
Huff.
yeah.
I'm just saying, it was bullshit. The UQ had Seth, Juicy, whatever.
Yeah.
It was just, they deserved it. They were the better team, and it was brilliant to hear, the emotion coming out of you. You obviously, the club means a lot to you, means a lot to a lot of other people out there. And, yeah, mate, I'm happy that they won. It's good to have someone else win it, bar UQ Jeeps. And, yeah. Man, it was really good to hear.
It was good, man. To say that, you can get stuck in your own ways, good and bad. UQ had, Hino's come in. They were dog shit before he came in, and he's turned them around. Now they're stuck in their good ways because he's brought it in. And those that are stuck in those ways, like a lot of doggies were, they wouldn't have remembered that up until 06 and prior to that, the doggies were one of the best sides in the comp for 20, 25, 30 years. Dominant. And, you can get these mouth breathers and shit munchers that when someone like Brownie comes in and goes, let's do this different, let's do that different. We got rid of our old clubhouse, which we loved. Loved that old shithole. Loved it so much. But they're all small things that incrementally add up to, one of the greatest fucking things ever, man.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly right. And, you don't know what you don't know. Brownie would have come in with fresh ideas. There's a club who have just been sitting stagnant for, however many years before Brownie came in. And it's let's try. And hopefully, there are clubs like Norths and Souths or, who are taking note. And it's maybe we need some real monumental shifts in our foundations and what we're doing, because what we're doing is not working. So let's little by little, let's work at it. He would have had a 5-year plan, been a successful business, 5, 10, 20-year plan. And let's chip away at it. And, it's not going to be easy, but if we persist with it, we can get results. And he is now alive version of everyone who's able to look back at that and be like, look, it does work. You know, it's not just some mythical fantasy that people are talking about. Like, there's actually living proof.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's the recipe that other clubs follow to take Queensland Premier Rugby, you know, to the next level.
To the next level, man. Because, like, unfortunately, like, when someone comes in and you're going to change the status quo, there are going to be people who
people hate
turn
change.
their nose up.
People hate
they
change,
hate
man.
it, man.
People
And
hate change.
I know first and foremost, like, I know firsthand, there were a lot of doggies that were annoyed and frustrated with, Brownie's making us do this, or he's got this idea for that, and like, some things work, some things don't. But mate, Wes, as I said, Wes don't win yesterday if it wasn't for Brownie. So love him, man. He's the nicest bloke in the world too. His wife is a fucking legend. Chops
sure where you were
chops
going, man.
better. No.
My heart actually stopped. I was like,
No, mate.
We've just
Madam
been praising
President,
this guy.
The First Lady, she is a weapon on the piss, man. She is so lovely, and she just has some of the best bands. It's like the Gibbon brothers. She's loose as hell. Graham's nice and reserved. It works out well, man. The yin and yang. Anyway, that rounds out this very special episode of the PAC Show. That's right. It's the grand final episode of the Doggies winning that grand final. How bloody good was it? Sione, Freeney, thanks so much for this evening. It's been absolutely awesome. The Gibbon brothers, man, it was so fucking good. Tino, as per usual, good to get you back in the studio. Zachy boy on the ones and twos. Thank you very much. In the meantime, stay safe, like, subscribe, share our content to get the word out there and get the PAC Show going. In the meantime, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.